Hi everyone, welcome back today. I'm doing something very different to my last few videos. My last 3 videos have been all Bali videos, very creative and artsy. This is the total opposite of that. It's basically just me sitting down here chatting about random things for the next, I don't know, 15-20 minutes probably. I always think these videos are gonna be short and then it just goes on and on and on. But if you care to see that, then you're in the right place. I'm gonna be covering all sorts of random things. I mean, it is kind of like an updates video, mostly just life updates and things that are going on right now that I haven't mentioned here otherwise. But also talk about like my camera and hair stuff and a product fail and just a whole mix of random things. So grab yourself a cup of coffee. I think we're gonna be here for a few minutes. I've written down a bunch of notes of things that I wanna mention so don't forget anything. And yeah, let's get started. So first of all, I wanted to mention my camera. If you follow me on Instagram, you will have known that my beloved camera, my Canon 70D, yes I did, I mentioned it somewhere, died on me. Just all of a sudden, just would not record more than about 10 seconds of video, which doesn't work for me because I obviously sit here and talk for long periods of time and it would just overheat like super quickly. So went onto the internet and found that she might have an internal problem and that's exactly what it was. Luckily there's a Canon shop very close to us here. So I took her in and I love how I refer to my camera as a her. Luckily her serial number was covered. Apparently these Canon 70Ds, if you also have one, they have this problem. Luckily, it was all completely covered. I didn't even get like a service charge or anything. They just completely replaced the whole motherboard on the back of my camera and she's good as new. This is the first time we're recording on her, so far she is happy. So yes, that's been an exciting update for me. I haven't had my camera for a while, so I haven't been filming much here, but we're back up and running. The second little update is that Ken and I just last night got back from a really amazing trip to Thailand. We were in Phuket for three nights. We didn't vlog it. I did bring all my equipment and stuff, but sometimes you just want to enjoy the moment, and while we were in Bali, I couldn't put my camera down. I just felt super creative and I just wanted to capture everything, but when we were in Phuket, it was just kind of a beach, hang out by the pool and lounge type of vacation, kind of making up for those 2-3 days that we were really sick in Bali. It was kind of a filler for that part of it. There wasn't a ton to record anyways. We did take quite a few pictures and I did Instagram story quite a lot, but yeah, it was mostly a lot of beach and a lot of pooling. It was a really quick trip for us to get there, I mean. From Singapore to Phuket, it's about an 1.5-hour flight, plus the Singapore airport here is like, you're right through and at your gate within about 10 minutes. So it is so super easy to get there. We originally were planning a slightly bigger trip, longer distance and longer amount of time away, but I was super anxious about getting on a flight again. I'm not normally that bad of a flyer. I'm not a great flyer, but after the whole Lion Air incident, I don't know how big it was on the news back in Canada and in the States, but over here it was pretty big news. It's very close to us. Yeah, the morning that happened, Ken and I were kind of in the process of brainstorming what we wanted to do for this trip, and I just couldn't shake it for a really long time. It's all I thought about for days on end. All I could just imagine were what these people were going through, and I couldn't imagine getting on a flight longer than a couple hours because I just knew I was gonna be sweating, shaking, very, very nervous the whole time, even though not likely to happen. You can't help but think the worst sometimes. So now I'm officially a very nervous flyer. Even the 1.5-hour flight felt like forever. So I think I'll be fine on the larger airlines, but these budget airlines just make me a little bit nervous. So yeah, we opted to put that trip on hold for a little while and just go to Phuket for a couple nights. We stayed at the Pullman Hotel. No, it's called the Pullman Phuket Arcadia Hotel, I believe. It was absolutely stunning. If you want the 5-star Thailand experience, that's where you want to go. We found it as a last-minute deal on a website called jetsetter.com. We often use that website for finding our nicer hotels. It's exactly what we wanted. We wanted a nice pool, a few restaurants to choose from, right on the beach, crystal clear blue waters, and then little streets to kind of explore with the little fruit stands and stuff. And that's exactly what we got. It was glorious. Certainly honeymoon worthy. And to top it all off, it's a 15-minute drive from the airport, and the airport in Thailand, again, was basically just walk straight out, hop into a cab, and in 15 minutes we were at our hotel checking in. So it was pretty dreamy, very, very easy trip. Thailand is beautiful. We didn't get to explore as much of it as we wanted to because, like I said, it was a very quick trip. But we had such an amazing time. The first day was just kind of a check-in day. We had a few cocktails. The next day we hung out by the pool and at the beach. We didn't try out any of the food vendors because Bali Belly was still very fresh in our minds, even though the barbecue that was happening behind us smelled so good. If Bali Belly hadn't happened, we probably would have tried some of it, but we just decided to steer clear of everything and just eat all the food on the resort because we knew we were going to be totally safe with that. And we ended up fine, so thank God. The second day we ended up finding a little cove all to ourselves, just beyond, probably a 1K walk down the beach, and then over a bunch of little rocks and stuff. We were kind of like helping each other, trying to get through all these rock formations and stuff. But on the other side of it, there was another small cove beach that we had all to ourselves. Like I said, just like beautiful white sands and crystal clear blue waters. Yeah, it's pretty dreamy. And then in the evening, we saw the most incredible sunset we have ever seen in our entire lives. It was, I think it's because there was a slight overcast happening that evening, but as the sun went down, it actually started to get brighter and brighter and brighter. It was the weirdest thing. We'd never seen it before, and then all of a sudden it was dark, like that. I'll insert my Instagram clips from that because the one of Ken is actually quite funny. It's good, huh? Yeah. And then our third day was again another pool and beach day. We spent a lot of the time walking up and down the little street next to our hotel. We visited some of the fruit stands and took some pictures, had some beer, sat in the beach again, hung out on the beach with one of the little beach dogs. They wanted to come sit with us. They had live music and cocktail hour happening every evening in the hotel, so we thoroughly enjoyed that. And yeah, overall it was an amazing trip. If you're thinking about going to Thailand and you want like the 5-star experience, I would highly recommend the Pullman Phuket Arcadia Hotel. It was stunning. The one product fail I've had recently actually happened out of this trip. It is a sunscreen that I want to warn you about. I don't know if we're just total idiots. I don't think we are. But we bought this sunscreen in the airport just as because we didn't want to have to try to find a shop because Pullman's kind of out of the way of any shop, so we just grabbed this one in the airport. It's called the UV Perfect Aqua Essence City Mist SPF 50. I'll put a picture of it somewhere here so you know what I'm talking about. Looks like a standard spray-on sunscreen. So we slathered ourselves in this the first day. Did a pretty good job, the same job that we would do with any of our other spray sunscreens. That's all we really use is spray sunscreens. And we both ended up fried. Like we were shaking this thing, we'd sprayed all over, we had done each other's backs really, really well, and both of us ended up fried. Like my whole chest was fried. You could easily see the straps of my bikini. My legs were burnt. Ken had swipes all across his legs. You could see where there was like 3 finger marks across his chest. And he had like multiple stripes all across his back, and I had done his back that day, so I know I got it really well. So we thought, my God, like we really did a shitty job this morning. So the next day we used it again, same thing again. We did an even more thorough job. We used the whole bottle up in that one morning on the 2 of us, and we still burnt. Like I don't know if we have a defective can or what the issue is, but it just didn't seem to spray that well either. It had like a mist that came out, but then there was like a straight shot, which I think was the SPF, just going psh, and then you'd have to try to move it around, and it didn't move all that easily, so you feel like you have to use a lot of product to really get the coverage, but even then you still burn. So has anyone else tried this before? I don't know if I had a bad batch or if this really is that terrible of a sunscreen. Because if it is, do not buy it for your children or anybody that you love, because it will not work. So the next update is something that I've talked about on here quite a few times, but especially now we're at the very tail end of our 1 year away, it's getting harder and harder for us. And it's homesickness. Specifically us missing of the fall season, really. I had no idea how much that was going to affect us when we decided to be here in Singapore leading into Christmas. It is such a bizarre feeling. Like, I feel like my head is turned upside down almost. It's hard to explain. Like, I feel like I'm missing a part of the year. I'm gonna get home and I'm gonna feel like I was in a coma or something for the last few months, and it all just like poof, never happened. It's such a bizarre feeling not having seasons, proper seasons. When I was at home, I was always like a summer girl. I love the fall and the winter too, but I was always like, oh, I love the summer. Everyone's like, I can't wait for fall, and I'm like, no, I need more summer. But now that we're here, I can really appreciate having those very defined seasons that we have in Canada. All 4 seasons are very, very prominent back where we live. And here, it's one season all year long. It ranges between like 29 and 32 degrees every day. Humidity's through the roof, more than anything that we would ever experience at home. They just have a wet and a dry season. We're here in rainy season. So yeah, it's very strange to wake up to 32-degree weather in the middle of November. I can't, like, my head doesn't want to accept it or something. Like, back home we would have, I mean, I'm an early Christmas person, so I'd have the Christmas tree up, we'd have decorations up, I'd be going back home to make Christmas cookies with my mom and like sitting on the couch snuggled up with a blanket watching my Christmas movies. I'm still watching my Christmas movies here, but it doesn't feel the same. It affects Ken even more. Like, he cannot wait to get back home. I don't want it to come across that we don't love being in Singapore, or that we're not thankful that we're here and that we have this opportunity to travel this part of the world. We are not at all wishing our time away here. We know that we will never live here again, likely. So we are trying to soak it all in and travel as much as we can, but at the same time, we cannot wait to get home. I said on my Instagram at some point that I'm kind of creating my own fake fall here in the apartment. I keep cranking up the AC, and then I was making chili last week and like putting my blanket on even though I was hot still. And even today I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt. I wouldn't be able to wear this outside. This is in-house only, but I feel like it's kind of fall-ish, so that's why I put it on today. So we had a chili night, we had a soup night, we had it with like nice crusty bread. I've been dreaming about all my closet that I have back home, and all my cozy sweaters and long sleeve shirts and my hats and stuff that I cannot wait to get my hands on. So yes, that kind of leads into the next thing. We're actually heading home for a short, very short amount of time next week for my best friend's wedding. Can't wait. It seems like it was just yesterday. She picked a date and now here it is. We're getting ready to fly home. I know it's gonna be a bit of a tease because we're ready to be home. We're going home for just the 1 week and then we're flying back. I have a feeling when we get there, we're just gonna be like, can't we just stay? But Ken still has more classes, so we'll be heading back to Singapore shortly after that. We're hoping to get some really nice weather. Hopefully we'll see some snow. Even Ken's been dreaming about his sweaters and stuff back home. He's like, oh, remember that cozy sweater I have? I can't wait to put that on and sit downstairs in Rum's basement and we can sip on Baileys and stuff. Like, it's the little tiny things that are making us so excited right now. So again, we love living in Singapore, but we're just really, really missing home. This is so different to how our falls normally are. I think that's all I wanted to say about that. Long story short, we miss fall. I want cozy things. And we're super homesick. Okay, the last update is a hair update. Oh my God, I don't know if it's a seasonal thing. I think it might be, because I feel like I do shed a lot every fall, and I have read online that it's very common this time of year. Your hair kind of thickens over the summer and then tends to drop off during the fall, end of October, November, for most people, or if it is stress related. I know it probably seems like we don't have a stressful life, and for the most part we don't. It's pretty, we have a very, very good life for sure, but we have a lot of things going on in the background that we don't talk about. We don't share everything here, that are very stressful. A lot of adult decisions happening behind the scenes that it could be a mixture between stress, anxiety, and the seasonal hair fall, but I feel like I'm going bald. Yeah, I know I said this in my Bali video too, that's why I was wearing bandanas and stuff, is because I'm just trying to make my hair look a little thicker than it is. Normally my hair is very, very thin and fine. It's like, if I don't blow dry it or curl it or do some sort of spray or heat treatment to it. My hair is like a 2-year-old's hair, like super, super fine, can barely hold a bobby pin in it. If I put a bobby pin in and shake my head, it'll just drop out. Like there's just no texture to it, dead straight. So that's why it's always curly, because it gives it a little bit more volume and grit to it. It probably looks like I have more hair than I really do. If I bring it all back into a ponytail, my ponytail is probably, you know, my hair is like thick over the summer, not more than this. Which surprises people a lot, because I get comments on that every so often. They're like, but you have such thick hair. And I'm like, no, it's all an illusion. Right now I am experiencing a ton, like a scary amount of hair loss. Every time I shower, it's like clumps of hair, the shower's clogged. Sorry if that's disgusting. I feel like every time I touch my hair, it just keeps falling out. Like even having my hair tied up, like it's loose. I don't want it to be too tight because I don't want to be pulling on it, but I'm even nervous having it this tight because I just don't want any tension on the hair and on the follicles. So yeah, if anyone has any suggestions for me, I am very open to what I can do to fix this problem. But a few things I have been doing is changing my diet a little bit. Not a ton, but just eating more leafy green things. I don't eat a ton of red meat, so I'm wondering if maybe that might be part of the problem. Just overall, trying to clean up the diet a little bit. I'm taking some biotin supplements. I don't know if this is gonna help at all, but I figured I'd give it a go anyways. I got the gummies because I thought maybe that'd be a nice way to take it, but they taste horrible. So now I'm stuck with these gummies that I basically have to choke back, but they're gummies for hair, skin, and nails. Can't really recommend them, but I'm hoping they'll work. We'll see, or at least hold the rest of the hair that is remaining on my head in place. And then also trying not to use too much heat on it. I wash my hair only a couple times a week. I've always done that for like as long as I can remember, but normally I am curling it every time I wash it. So I'm trying not to do that right now. I'm trying to figure out a few heatless ways of styling my hair. If you saw on Instagram a few days ago, I had this huge amount of hair, curly, like curly Sue curls, tiny, tiny little ringlets. I freaking loved it. I could maybe include a little tutorial in a vlog or something, but I basically just used straws, wrapped my hair around the straw when it was a little bit damp, folded it over, put an elastic on top, and slept with them like that. If you can't sleep with things in your hair, then you'll probably go nuts because it wasn't the most comfortable thing in the world, but I woke up with hair that was like this short, probably. It was really short because the curls are so tight, but I just sprayed it down a little bit and it loosened up, and I had a ton of fun with it for like 3 days. I loved it. Felt like I had 10 times more hair than I had, so that was great. But I also bought these heatless old-fashioned foam curlers online. I know you can also just use pieces of rag. I know a few people commented about that on my Instagram post. You can just cut up pieces of rag, wrap your hair around it, and then tie it in a knot. Leave those in overnight. But I decided to buy these guys. They're just off Amazon, very inexpensive. There's hair on them. Comes with a bunch of them. I don't have enough hair to use all these. I probably use not even half of them. Just kind of gently wrap my hair around these. Just use a little spray bottle to make my hair moist. Wrap my hair around it fairly loosely, and then you just kind of twist them like that. Sleep in them overnight, and then pull it out in the morning. And I had slightly looser curls than the straw gave me. Again, I just kind of wet them down a little bit, and I had some texture in my hair, which for a very straight haired girl, it was very exciting. And again, I didn't wash it for a good couple days. We took photos in Phuket about 2 days after I'd taken those out, and my hair just had some nice wave and texture to it. And that was after being at the beach and the pool all day. So there's not really a curl to my hair, but it just gave it a little bit of texture, something, a little extra something. So yes, that's what I've been doing with the hair, or just pulling it up. I've been wearing it up a lot. As I've said, it's very, very humid here, so fine, thin hair, it just won't do anything. Normally my curls back home will last until I wash them, basically, and especially in the winter, they'll last 4, 5, 6 days. But here, if I step outside for even a minute, the curls won't last. Even in the air conditioning, there's still a little bit of humidity in our apartment, so there's almost no point in trying to curl my hair. I keep trying, and it just never works out. So what I have been doing, you've probably seen this again in my pictures on Instagram, yada yada, is using a lot of bandanas. I got a bunch of these off Shein.com. They're super inexpensive. They were like $2 or $3 each. Been wrapping these around ponytails and just curling like the front pieces, or I put my hair in a top knot like this, and then I just wrap it around The top knot, it just makes my hair look a little bit more full. It looks like I have double the hair that I actually do, which is why I like this one in particular, because it kind of matches my hair and then just blends in for a nice big top knot look. But yeah, I've been wearing those a ton to make up for the lack of hair left on my head. Fingers crossed it grows back soon. I'll be very sad if it doesn't. Okay, I think that is enough blabbering. If you've made it to the end of this video, thank you very much. You're a trooper. If you haven't already checked out our Bali videos, I would recommend you go take a look at those. They're a lot of fun. I had a ton of fun editing them. I used my fancy camera for a lot of them, so it's got some of those like artsy kind of shots that I love to take. And it's all kind of chopped together to make a short little video of 3 of the 6 days that we were not sick in Bali. So I think I'll leave it there for today. I may or may not see you in Canada. As I said, we're going home for a really short time, and it's gonna be wedding mania from the day after that we land right up until the day after the wedding. So it's gonna be a bit crazy, plus I'm gonna be ridiculously jet lagged. It's a 15-hour time difference, and I really struggled even going from London to Vancouver, and that was only 9 hours. So I'm feeling I'm gonna feel like crap for pretty much the whole week we're at home, but I'm going to do my best to power through it. Maybe film some of it. I have no idea what's gonna come of it, but we'll see. I'll see you in the next one, wherever it might be in the world. Bye.